LinkedIn, and Facebook all at the same time. And we're live. Hey peeps, hope all is well. Phoenix Freedom here with my guest, Tricia, Empath Coach. Tricia, how you spell your last name? Because I don't want to butcher it.
Dyka.
Dyka. Okay, I don't like butchering people's names because, like, my first name or my legal name is Dillis, and everyone always butchers it. Dials the Hylas Delis, so that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna ask. So,
Wow. Okay.
well, happy New Year! It's 2024,
Can you believe
and
it?
yes, and I pretty much the podcast was on Spotify and it was audio, so I decided in 2024 when I would bring it back, it would be video and audio at the same time. So you're actually my first guest for
Oh,
2024. So
welcome to January.
yes. So can you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Tricia Dyka, and I am an empath coach. And what I do is I actually help empath business owners really understand their energy so that they
Mhm.
grow their own business. And they
Mm.
do that in a myriad of ways. One of the things that we would do is really, and I love this. I love talking about this, is
Mhm.
understanding your own energy, understanding where you are placing your time and your energy. And
Mhm.
this is good for business owners. This is good, for empaths who work. It is
Mhm.
truly understanding themselves to the point that they are able to discern what
Mhm.
they've picked up is somebody else's collective, or if their own stuff is coming up that needs to be addressed. And as much as I've had clients come to me and say, I haven't seen my symbol, or I haven't this, I'm like, I'm sorry, because sometimes some of the stuff is actually for us to
Yeah.
handle. It's coming
Mhm.
up to say, can you look at me? Can you handle me? Can you, just a lot of times it's really all about acknowledging feeling and watching it flow away. That's
Absolutely.
really what it is. So, understanding your own energy I have a really simple tool that I've been using for well over 10 years, and all of
Mhm.
my tools have been over 10 years, and they have actually become second nature to me.
Mhm.
And one is, and I'm sure you've heard me talk about it, is the empath symbol.
Mhm.
And basically, what that is just pick a symbol, whatever that is for you. For me, I love large animals. And basically, all you're doing is grounding your energy and asking the universe to show you that symbol when
Mhm.
what you're feeling does not belong to you.
Mm.
And I remember, actually, it's over 13 years when this happened, and I had chosen a symbol. I never realized how much I had picked up that was not mine.
Mm.
You pick up from people people you don't know, from the collective, from things going on from the earth.
Yeah.
There's the fires, the earthquakes. You're feeling all of that. Like empaths feel like so many different things in so many different ways. Uh, you could feel it from a text message. You could feel energy from watching a YouTube or being on a summit
Mhm.
or reading a book, watching TV. These are just some of and the big ones are the malls, and
Yes.
and once you understand your own energy, going to malls, going to stadiums, you can do it. Like, some empaths are like, I can't do this, but you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. If you put boundaries, self-care, mindset, all of these things in place, and you're honestly taking care of yourself consistently and daily,
Yes.
you easily go into these places. Absolutely.
So, at what point in your life did you realize that you were an empath coach or an empath yourself? And how did that become like a game changer for you?
Wow. Like 13 years ago, I literally had the meltdown of meltdowns.
Mm.
And I remember it was right around my birthday too. It was in September. and I was numb. Like I was literally
Mm.
numb. And I was just kind of walking through like a total zombie. And I couldn't figure it out. Like nothing was making me happy. I was just there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pressure cooker top blew off.
Oof.
And all of the emotions that I had bottled in, locked down for years and years and years blew up. And I
Wow.
spent months crying. And I remember going, like, my husband would come home. He's like, I don't understand. What are you crying for? And I'd be like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had no answer for him. And all of a sudden, one night, he was doing something online. And the next morning, he's like, I booked a bunch of sites for you. Could you please go look at them? Because it sounds just like you.
Mm.
And I'm like, all right. So I started to research, and I was learning about what an empath was. And it was like light bulb after light bulb after light bulb. So, I remember one day saying to the universe, we need to fix this, figure
Mm-hmm.
it out, and God forgive me, but I said, or I don't want to wake up tomorrow
I
because I
understand that.
can't live like this. I just couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, it was like I started receiving downloads of tools, and I started to get people within my sphere who understood what it was. And I started getting on Facebook and looking at empath groups. And boy, did I learn a lot there.
I bet you did.
I saw a lot of victim mentality. I
Oh,
saw a lot of the stuff that I was like, this is not me. This is not what I want. I want something better.
yeah, for sure.
And that is what put me on the path.
That's awesome.
I
So
wanted
it's
something better.
so essentially you started over in a different, more powerful way where you were like, I want better, so I have to change cycles and patterns and this and that, next and third, the whole 9 yards to make sure that you positioned yourself to be more empowering to yourself and also to other people. So at what point did that the coach aspect come into play?
I would probably say a couple of years later,
Mm-hmm.
I had opened up an empath group because I wanted it to be empowering and positive. And I, was learning about it. Not only
Mm-hmm.
that, I was relearning all about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning about what I wanted to do. How did I want to handle this? And of course, there were ebbs and flows and ups and downs. And, I got stuck in a little cycle of woe is me. I feel all this. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no, this is not what we're going to do. Like I refuse to do that. And one of the things that I really started working on was getting to know myself
Yep.
and getting to really understand how I ticked, like what
Mm.
made me tick, what were my likes, I actually went down to ground zero of what were my likes and my dislikes. And I I actually built from there. And it was a lesson in self-love. It was a lesson in self-awareness. It was a lesson in self-worth and understanding, and all the selves all came out because this is what I needed to do to create this foundation for myself so that I can be an empowered empath. I could be empowered. I could live my life, and
Mm-hmm.
I did not have to get stuck like a deer in the headlights, always worrying about what's coming up, what's happening, whose emotion am I feeling. And you don't need to know. You don't need to
Yeah.
know the who, the what, the where, the when. It's just we are energetic beings, and we are feeling this energy flowing through us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That is the empath. And then basically that energy that's flowing through me that is not mine, I send it to the universe or I send it to the earth to be healed and transformed.
See, and that's something that I have to like continuously practice of sending it back to the earth or sending it back to source or whatever, because I find for me, because I'm a very highly sensitive empath, for me, there's times where I'm super duper emotional and I'm taking on too much of other people's energies or whatever. Like yesterday, the ethers was kicking my ass. I was just going through it yesterday. And My mom was going through the same thing too. And she was like, and how did you process it? I said, I just allowed it to just do whatever. I just went through it. I kept doing what I was doing, but I just went through it. I just gave myself permission to just surrender, just be like, all right, whatever it is, what it is.
It's about surrendering to feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
crying, releasing it. Um, so another easy tool is my heart-centered intention. And basically what that is first off, you're, as empaths, grounding daily is imperative.
Mm-hmm.
Grounding your energy, whether it is outside grounding. I actually have a grounding bowl at my desk
No, you doing
that
I
I
need one.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So, and I have a grounding bowl at my desk. And like I ground different ways. I visualize it. I'm outside in nature, but I do it. It's a daily process. It's become second nature because I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I imagine my heart center is open and there is a gentle breeze coming through me all day long, clearing out anything that does not belong to me.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's an automatic process. It's just you're feeling it. And when you really become aware, you know when you've picked something up, you know that it's there.
Absolutely.
And it's asking the universe to clear it, take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
as an empath, you can pick things up emotionally, you could pick
Yep.
things up physically, you could pick things up mentally. And that means you could be walking down the street. I remember years ago, I was in the mall and all of a sudden, like my right hip, it just was like all of a sudden this tremendous pain. And I'm like, oh my God, I stopped dead in the middle of the mall. And I'm like, this isn't mine. This is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely not mine. And I just said to
Mm-hmm.
the universe, I'm like, this is not mine. I'm not keeping it. So please clear it. And it was cleared quickly.
Wow.
So when you're paying attention to your aches and pains, to your emotions, to what's going on within your body constantly,
Mm-hmm.
you're going, okay, got it, clearing it. Because what happens is we get stuck on the hamster wheel and we go and we go and we go. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when we do not stop to pay attention to how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We're pushing
Agreed.
through. We're pushing through.
Agreed. Absolutely. So what would you say, like what's your process like when you're working with a client for the first time and they're just now coming to realization that they're an empath? What's that process like?
I work with people who already know that they're empaths and
Mm-hmm.
delve into ways so that they understand their own energy.
Mm-hmm.
They'll delve in, and that is with different tools.
Mm-hmm.
That is making sure they are grounded. That is making sure that they're doing body scans constantly. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I first started doing body scans, I would actually go start at the top of my head and come through.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned to realize and discern and decipher was that there is a spot in my body that when it gets tight or there is some kind of resistance or something going on, I know I've picked up something else.
Mm-hmm.
So there are spots on your body when you become aware that you could say, oh, when it's usually, like in my case, it's my left side of my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach, it could be your shoulders, it could be your heart area, it could be your throat area,
Mm-hmm.
your head area. So like when you start to feel these, it's about stopping and clearing out that energy, but it's also about, because sometimes, like I said, as much as I want to tell you everything belongs in the world, sometimes this shit is ours. And we need
Right.
to stop and address it
Yeah.
and let that go as well. And I think the biggest way of letting that go is breath work.
Mm-hmm.
So exercise is great. Breath work is great, but literally sitting in that emotion. And
Yeah.
the thing is, sometimes we don't pay attention to how we feel, or we cannot decipher the different types of emotions. It's like we've got happy, sad, grief, and a couple of others, but there's a plethora of other emotions there. So it's a matter of sitting in and being like, what is this? What does this mean to me? And saying, all right, so I'm disappointed. And it may not even be what's happening in the moment. It could be something that has transpired a while ago and is now coming up to be released.
I
So,
was actually having a conversation with a client a little while ago, and I was telling her about the same thing, that sometimes when we're on in a quest of finding out who we are and doing the shadow work, things start to unravel and things just start popping up
yeah.
subconsciously out of nowhere that we haven't dealt with. So it's funny that you say that.
Yes, because that's what happens. Our
Hmm.
stuff comes up that we have not dealt with.
Hmm.
And for me, when 13 years ago, when this all happened, not only was I releasing everybody else's stuff I was holding on to, my own stuff was coming up. So it
Hmm.
was a joyride from hell. And I was,
I could imagine.
I remember doing emotion code, body code work with a practitioner, and she's like, "You have, I think it was 25 heart walls," and she's like, "None
Oh,
of it's yours."
wow.
She's like, "None of it's yours." So I
Wow.
was like,
25 and none of
"Yep,
them were yours?
none of them were mine. I had mine, please."
Of course.
I
Yeah.
had mine, but yeah, 25. I was like, "Are we kidding with this?" So, yes. So when you don't pay attention and you're rushing, and that is my biggest thing with my clients, I sit them down and we do energy work. We
Mhm.
really focus in on understanding their energy.
Mhm.
And I mean, here is a real easy tool. When you're trying to figure out your own energy, it's like, say, my name is, and use your real name. And
Mhm.
then my name is, and use a made up name. And you're going
Right.
to actually feel that difference of energy in your body. You're going to have the
Mhm.
alignment of what, like, my name is Tricia. And then I'm going to have, like, my name is Samantha. And I know, like, something doesn't feel right.
Right. Damn,
So,
I didn't thought of it that way. That's crazy.
yeah. And it's easy. Like, that's an easy tool because I'm all about quick and easy. I'm all about getting back, living your life, understanding. I don't want to get caught up in these big processes, trying to
Mhm.
figure things out.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
we, yeah. So one, and then as empaths, I have met so many, my clients included, where boundaries were little to none.
Mm.
Boundaries with yourself, boundaries with your family, friends,
Mhm.
clients, and boundaries is very important. They actually are part of your self-care and help you
Yeah.
protect your time and energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I actually make my clients go through, what are your non-negotiables?
Mm.
What are your non-negotiables? And I actually, because one of mine, I'm not here for the drama.
I feel you. Me neither.
That's a boundary. Like, I
Oh, that
am
way.
not playing in your that's my boundary. So you're gonna try to drag me into your drama. Nope, sorry. That's a
Yeah.
big fat no.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. I don't do drama. I don't do anything messy or, childish behavior, immature bullshit. I don't do it at all. Like if me and my friends and the people who are my core people, when we have conversations, it has to be something of substance and value. If not, then we don't have conversations. Because to me, it doesn't make no sense if we're sitting here just wasting time talking about bullshit. Because if I'm not learning something from you and you're not learning something from me, then we can't be friends.
Mhm. Yeah,
And that's
that's a
just,
non-negotiable.
yeah, absolutely a non-negotiable for me. And it's crazy how people like that right there, this the drama and so on and so forth, because for me it just brings in all this negative unnecessary energy that you don't really need. So you're calling it into your life, so to speak.
Yes. There's so much that people talk about with the law of attraction, but here's the thing. You are attracting constantly. Every single day.
Hmm.
You are attracting. And one of the things I focus on with my clients is, where is your energy going? Where is your mindset? What are you speaking? What are you thinking? One of the biggest things that I've had was, so many empaths believe in shielding or bubbles.
Hmm.
And I've spoken to clients and they say, I'm so tired when I shield or bubble. And I'm
Hmm.
like, that's because you're shielding or bubbling against something you're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
And when you're putting out saying, no, I don't want any negative energy, you're actually attracting it to you.
Yeah, it's
Call
true. If I
it.
remember I was watching something, I think it was Joe Dispenza, and he
Mhm.
was saying if you obsess on negative things, that's what you're going to receive. If you keep obsessing on things going wrong, that's what's going to happen. And so I did a TikTok and I'm like, why not obsess about positive things? Like, oh my goodness, I'm obsessing that I'm going to consistently be healthy. I'm obsessing that I'm consistently going to get the job, or I'm obsessing over the fact that, my business is going to propel to levels beyond my own understanding,
Absolutely.
shifting it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it, because what happens is if you're going to walk around and say, I can't handle negative energy, I can't handle negative energy, you're actually programming your brain
Hmm.
to look for experiences for negative energy.
Right, exactly.
You are creating a new belief. I want
Hmm.
negative energy. You got a
Hmm.
billboard. I want negative energy.
Hmm.
Whereas when you start saying, I am empowered, emotions easily flow through me. These are all new beliefs that you continuously repeat and are repetitive, because the more that you repeat, you are creating new neurotransmitters in your brain,
Yeah,
creating new brain waves, and you're inputting those new beliefs.
absolutely. Also, too, to add to that too, is not only speaking it, but also feeling it. Feeling
Absolutely.
that you are empowered, or feeling that, you're a powerful being and all that good stuff there. Because I had to learn that at one point, where I was listening to YouTube videos about manifestation, and I was manifesting, and not one goddamn shit was happening. And then it was just like the light bulb hit and was like, but girl, you're not feeling it. You're just saying it and it's being forced. You're not really allowing it to be authentic. You're not relinquishing control. You're not surrendering to what is. You're not going with the flow. You're just saying it. It's just repetition. But you're not getting excited. You're not believing in the self. You're not believing in what you're speaking. So to me, it's like also feeling it and knowing that yes, it's going to happen. It's going to take place, not just saying it.
And here's another one. As an empath,
Mhm.
just as many positive, you feel just as many positive emotions as you do negatives that are not yours, but you never question the positive.
Yeah, right.
So
Exactly.
take that, right? That
Hmm.
happiness, that joy, that excitement that you feel, whether it's yours or not.
Hmm.
Utilize that when you are doing your repetition, your affirmations, your new beliefs.
Yes. Okay. Hmm.
Tap into those emotions.
Absolutely. Agreed 100%. So my other question to you is, what was the most memorable and heartfelt review that you've ever received from a client?
I've
And I
had
know there's like 500 of them.
I've had a lot. Like I really have. I was working with a client just recently, and she said, I'm so, because she's an empath too, and she said to me, I'm so glad I'm working with you. You're an empath.
Mhm.
You totally understand me at a deeper level. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm going through. You understand how I feel. And that has been for her empowering and transforming.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I always tell people, when they work with me with what I do, I feel like the fact that I've been through it and I know the ins and outs and all arounds is easier for me to understand and validate them, because they feel seen and heard and understood, and they don't have to be like, well, are you doing it the correct way, or are you creating my brand story this way, or are you marketing my, I'm like, yeah, I got it, because I know I'm already in your head, I'm already tapped in. And it's something I already do, so I completely understand it. And I remember one time I went to therapy, and I was telling the therapist something, and she handed me this book. She was like, read this book. I'm like, why the hell am I paying your ass for? You give me a book to read? That don't make no damn sense. So I felt like I didn't feel validated. I didn't feel seen and heard. So the fact that you are able to help your clients because you are an empath and you understand where they've been and you understand where you want them to go, it's like it's a different dynamic
Yeah,
completely.
it really is. I
Yep.
mean, I've had so many. I mean, one woman sent me, and I actually posted it a while, just maybe a week ago,
Hmm.
where she had said, She is on a totally different level now, being an empath and understanding it because of all the things that I've shared and shown her. And it's liberating when you realize you can go out and live your life and not have to worry about getting stuck in the emotions of the world. It is liberating.
Absolutely. So what would you say for someone who feels like they're an empath, but they're not sure, like what type of signs and such should they look for?
Okay, so I have I wrote it out a long time ago. Like there are things, smell,
Mm.
sound, like like I've been in supermarkets and I've walked out. I've literally walked in and I've walked out. I'm like, I am
Mm.
not eating anything here. I am not buying anything out. Boom, done. Or I've gone into like a meat market and like the meat section of the grocery store and you smell bleach and I'm like, nah, peace out. I'm done. Like
Right.
your sense of smell is insane.
Mm-hmm.
The sound you are so sensitive to sounds you hear. I know when I have been overstimulated and my husband's got ham radio and it's going on in the background. I'm like, please God, shut that off. I like there's no more I can handle anymore. Like you were overstimulated and every noise starts to bother you.
Mm-hmm.
Um you have such a great sixth sense. You have strangers walking up to you, telling you life stories. I can't tell you
Mm-hmm.
how many times I've been at the supermarket. I don't know what it is about the supermarket in me, but I can tell you some stories there. Um, I remember doing a bottle return once, and this woman came right up to me. She wasn't in the bottle return. It is full. There's like 8 machines. My husband's right next to me, and this woman walks right in, and she goes, I really need to talk to you. This whole place shuts down. Like everybody stops and is looking. And I'm like, okay. She tells me this. She tells me this story, and she goes, thank you so much. I feel so much better. And she leaves. Everybody's looking at me. And my husband's like, do you know her? And I'm like, I have no idea who she
No.
is. And everybody was like looking at me. And I was like, wow, that is so much a part of being an empath. People,
Yep.
strangers walk up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Children just love you.
Animals.
Animals love you. So there are, I'm just trying to think of big ones that would be like, okay, yes, that happens to me.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many others. I mean, you can sense bullshit a mile away. You can tell when people are full of shit and lying
Mm-hmm.
to themselves and when
Yep.
people are full of shit and lying to you. Like you
Yep.
learn to discern between the
Mm-hmm.
two.
And also, I think too, to add to that too, I would have really, really crazy panic attacks
Yes.
that weren't mine, and I'd be sitting there like, "Why is my heart beating so fast?" And da, 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 da. Perfect example. 2020 during the pandemic, I just woke up like crazy out of my sleep. Like the hell, why am I waking up? So I went downstairs and I went to get a glass of water. I came back upstairs. I was hyperventilating like I don't know what, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I can't breathe!" 3 days later, George Floyd, I can't breathe.
Oh, wow.
Didn't
Wow.
even. I was just like I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't breathe. I was just hyperventilating, and my partner at the time was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I can't breathe," and I just kept saying it over and over and over and over, and I didn't understand why. And after that was done, I went back to sleep, and then 3 days later, it was just like headlines, and I was sitting there like, "Holy shit," because
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yeah. That's part of being like a physical empath. You're picking that up. You're actually picking up the physical
Yeah.
issues. I remember there was in Italy, it was an earthquake, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was petrified. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, petrified unbelievably. And I'm like, oh my God. And I immediately saw my symbol for collective consciousness. And I'm like, what is going on? I
Yeah.
calmed myself down, went back to sleep. And the next day I went on, MSN home, I think it was. And there was,
Wow.
what happened in Italy. And I was like, wow. But I mean, you could feel it physically, you could feel it mentally. And I also am going to add,
Mm-hmm.
Although this is, people will debate me on this one, but you can absolutely hear other people's thoughts.
Yep.
You can pick up on other people's beliefs. And if you do not understand, and this is where understanding your own energy is,
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand it, you're taking those beliefs on as yours. You're
Yep.
taking those thoughts on as yours. And all of a sudden, it's like you don't understand what's
Yeah.
going on. When the
Mm-hmm.
reality of it is, it's not yours to begin with.
Yep. Absolutely.
Not yours to begin with. I remember driving home one night, and again, this is going back when I first realized I was an empath, and I'm like, and I hear loud as day, I don't want to go home, and I'm like, but I do, but I
Mm-hmm.
do, and I heard it like twice, and I'm like, and it really can freak you out if you don't understand, because
Yeah.
now you're creating a bigger story in your mind, going,
Mm-hmm.
why don't I want to go home? I don't want to see
Mm-hmm.
my significant other. What is it I'm afraid of? And the reality is, you've just picked up a thought from somebody else.
Yeah. Absolutely. Without even realizing it. It comes in handy with me when I'm doing like my oracle card readings. At times I can hear spirit on a deeper level, and then other times I pick it up and I'm like, some shit will pop into my mind. I'm like, yeah, that's not me. Go back to this. This is not me. I'm sorry, I'm not taking that on.
Yeah.
I completely get it. I understand it.
Yes. Yeah.
So my next question to you is, at what point did you decide that this is going to be your full path? Like, what was that defining moment for you? Like, yes, this is it. I got it. This is my purpose. I'm going to ride the wheels on full speed ahead.
I'm trying to think my defining moment of when I wanted to help empaths.
Yes.
I was in a group. I was in one of the empath groups. And I remember this woman, I don't remember the topic, but I remember this woman going, I'm really happy I'm an empath. I'm loving my life. I'm loving my family. And I was like, oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched people jump all over her and tell her
Oh,
off. And she left the group. I left the group.
oh man.
And I was like, that was the defining moment that I was going to go out there
Mm-hmm.
and talk about being an empowered empath, a happy empath, an empath who can live their life to the fullest and absolutely and utterly enjoy it.
That's
And
a beautiful
yes,
thing.
you'll have some craptastic days. We all do. We're human beings. But for the most part, you can live
Mm-hmm.
your life, love your life, and do whatever you want fully.
Absolutely. I agree to 100%. Completely 100%. And my other question is, what is starting over to you? How would you define starting over?
Hitting rock bottom.
Mm.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it happens more than once. Oh boy.
It does. It
It's
does.
definitely it's in throughout my life. It has happened more than once, rock bottom, and
Mhm.
I get back up every time. But
Mhm.
I've taken everything that I've learned, and I continue moving forward.
Yep.
So
All the lessons that you
everything,
learn.
yeah,
Mhm.
all your experiences and what you're doing, and what I've done when I've hit rock bottom. I'm like, all right, let me sit in it because I want to sit in it for a couple of days, you know. Um, and then I start climbing out of it, going, where do I need to change my rituals?
Mhm.
Where do I need to support myself better?
Mhm.
Where do I need to change my perspective so that I don't go backwards that way ever again?
Absolutely.
And
And
that's,
just,
I love Joe Dispenza on that, where he's talking about, let's move forward in this moment where you are, and you don't have to hit that rock bottom.
exactly. It's so true. I I'm a person that I like being uncomfortable, and I like being taken out of my comfort zone because it helps me to grow in so many different ways. And I'm a person that all of my experiences, be it good, bad, different, taught me lessons because it makes me much, much wiser, and it made me be able to help people in so many different types of ways because I've been there, done that, and I can talk about it because I've overcome it in some way, shape, or form. And oftentimes in my life, it was like, well, why did you put yourself through that? Or why did you go through that? Or why did you do this? And why did you do that? I'm like, it happened for a reason, because our lives are designed a certain kind of way. And if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be able to help the way that I help. I wouldn't be able to be as strong as I am to guide people in certain types of ways if I didn't go through the experiences. So I prefer to go through the experiences, even if it's really, really bad ones, because I believe it's happening for me and not to me. And I signed up for this life and this lifetime in real time right now in order for me to live in the purpose, live in the mission, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I had, I believe, I had a health diagnosis
Mm-hmm.
several years ago, and it knocked me down.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, now what? We're
Mm-hmm.
going to get back up. We're going to change our lifestyle. We're going to change our foods. We're going to, best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Best thing. So when you can look at these traumatic points in our life and say, best thing,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
because you're taking
absolutely.
from it the things that you've grown into.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mhm.
I always talk about my near death experience that I had in 2011, and just being on the deathbed, being the shoulda, coulda, woulda girl, and what it taught me. And now that I'm at my second chance at life, I don't waste it. Like, I leap, I jump, I say fuck it, I just do it. Even if I fail or fall, like, I have the ability to get back up. And I think that's what life is about. It's being able to explore, experiment, experience. And if something doesn't work, the beauty of life is get back up and just go back to the drawing board.
Try something new.
Yeah, all the
Tweak it.
time.
Change it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's me.
Mhm.
That's how I live life. And people be like, well, damn, like, you move here, you did this, yeah. I mean, that's just life. If you don't do something, you're always gonna be in this box or stay stuck. Like, I don't want that for myself or anybody else. So totally
Mhm.
get that. So tell us about your services. Do you have any special offers going on? How people can find you, work with you, connect with you, all that good stuff.
So I am offering a 30-minute strategy call for all empaths. Um, I will send you the link so we can attach the link to, or
Yes,
I'll post the
please.
link below.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a free PDF of empath cleansing, which is something that you can sign up and receive. And I'm on social media under Tricia Dyka.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Um, Come and send me a DM.
Absolutely. My friend Chrissy or Auntie Rizzy says, "Do you think it's healthy to meditate on the idea of how precious life is on a daily basis?"
Why not?
Yeah, was your
Because
answer.
life is phenomenal. Life is and when you're focusing on how precious life is, you're actually, I believe, being so positive, sending out love, and you're bringing that back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my friend Christine, she's actually an empath as well, and we've had many, many of conversations about it, and about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I completely agree on
Yeah.
meditating on how precious life is. I'm the kind of person where I always say, I don't remember who the hell it was, but it was some philosopher that says every night when you go to bed, it's a death, and then when you wake up, it's a rebirth.
Hmm.
And I stick
A
with
new
that
beginning.
word. Yeah, absolutely. A new beginning. So, but thank you so much for coming on and being my first guest for 2024. I am so honored. And I follow you and I just love your stuff. You crack me up every morning with the coffee jokes.
Yes. Listen, you gotta laugh, and I'll be the first
Yes.
one to make a fool because I'm all about it. Laugh,
Yes.
come to my page, I'll make you laugh.
Yeah, I love Trisha's page. She actually is so just hilarious and insightful and funny and all those things. So I actually love it. Oh,
Thank
hey bro. Hi my brother Dane. Shout out to Dane BK Dane. He says bravo. He
you.
hardly comes on my stuff. I gotta be like, did you watch my I was busy. So good to have my little brother on here. So thank you once again. I appreciate it. Again, definitely follow Tricia Dyka. She is on Facebook. And what other platforms are you on?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
All of the things.
All of the things, yes.
Oh, Mahatma Gandhi said that, Phoenix. Thank you so much, Christine. I was trying to remember who the hell it was that said it, but it's Mahatma Gandhi. So, one last thing, if you would offer a tip to the audience, what would that tip be?
Consistency. Consistency. Anything that you are trying to change, implement, do, can be consistent with it. If it's, you just knowing, finding out you're an empath, make sure that you're grounding to every day. Make sure your self-care is every day. Daily, consistent action.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. That's something I definitely know that I'll be working on with the consistency. I started, you were talking about exercise earlier, and something in my spirit was like, you need to do more stretches and yoga and something. So I do my best to do that every morning. When I wake up after I have my tea and I start stretching my body out. And it feels good to just stretch and just like, move in spaces and whatnot. So I started doing that. So is consistency equals discipline. That's correct.
That's because as much as I exercise almost every day, and it makes me feel better after I'm done.
Yeah.
It's the getting to it where I literally make up every excuse in the book. Why? But then I come back, and here's a great question for everybody out there. Am I in alignment with my CEO energy?
CEO. Okay, explain CEO energy.
Your boss energy. If you're a business owner, are you being in alignment with that? So whenever you don't want to do something or you're making excuses up for something, I immediately go to, am I in alignment with my CEO energy?
Oh, ouch.
And it's 99.9% no, which means I get off my ass and do it.
Yeah.
Because it is discipline, it is motivation, it is I see where I'm going and where I want to be, and this is not it. So this excuse is useless.
Yep. Christine says, period, excuses queen. I get it. I totally understand it. So this was fun. You got to come back on again. Yeah. Thank y'all. CEO energy, boss energy, all day, no days off. Okay. I love my friend. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Remember to take advantage of my special offer, MLK offer, positive impact sessions with me. It's 15 minutes. It's only $15. It's only going to last until Tuesday, January 16th. Reason why I chose 15 is because Martin Luther King, his birthday was on the 15th, and angel number 15 means positive change, new directions in life. Your angels are watching over you, and they are helping you, guiding you into the right direction of choices. And it's just honoring Dr. King's legacy of dreaming big and asking big and taking action. So if anyone's interested in that, Instagram handles, what is your Instagram handle, Tricia?
Tricia Dyka.
Tricia Dyka, Christine. Okay, so now you have a new follower. Christine's gonna follow you. So take advantage. Yeah, she's really sweet. She's Christine. She offers a 30-minute discovery sesh. I hope you jump on it. I'll send you the link. She's probably gonna call you. Sweetheart. So yeah, take advantage of that offer because once it's done, and all that good stuff. So we are getting off the live, and I wish everyone a good night. Be safe. When you wake up tomorrow morning, gratitude, 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 always gratitude. Gratitude is where it's at. And thank you once again. Follow Tricia Dyka on all social media platforms. Connect with her. If you're an empath and you need some direction, guidance of how to figure this whole empath life out, and she will get you right and tight.
Good night.
Good night.